Light Yagami, the handsome, misanthropic genius at the center of the original Death Note manga series, has been transformed into Light Turner in Netflix's movie adaptation. Americanized Light is still a bored, bright teen who gets gifted with a nearly boundless power to kill at the start of the story, but he's not popular the way his predecessor is. He's introduced huddled on a table outside his high school doing other students' homework for pay. This Light is friendless, aloof, and also white, a furor kicked up online around the film in the wake of the whitewashing perpetrated by the earlier 2017 anime adaptation of Ghost in the Shell. In transferring the action from Tokyo to Seattle, director Adam Wingard and producers Jason Hoffs, Roy Lee, Dan Lin, and Masaoka cast Nat Wolff in the lead role rather than an Asian American actor. Then again, Tsugumi Oba and Takeshi Obata's saga isn't Asian American either. It's imported from Japan, where it's already been the basis of 4 homegrown live-action movies with Japanese casts. In the complicated and evolving conversation about Asian representation on screen, adaptation, and erasure, it's not accurate to describe Death Note as replicating the exact outrages of Ghost in the Shell, which kept the cultural trappings of its source material while discarding the actual people. That film literally had Scarlett Johansson playing a character who had the stolen brain of a Japanese woman transplanted into the body of a white one, an accidental but incendiary metaphor for the vampirism it was perpetrating. Netflix's Death Note fails Asian Americans in the more mundane way that most Hollywood releases continue to, by not casting Asian American actors in any significant parts, a fact that has some extra sting given where the source material came from and the film's predominantly Asian American producers. But Death Note isn't an act of cultural ventriloquism or cringy Orientalism, it's an earnest, ludicrously overstuffed attempt at reworking the original story for an American context, part of the latest instance of Hollywood's long pattern of devouring international intellectual property and remaking it, for better or worse, usually the latter. From Vanilla Sky to The Departed to January's ill-fated Jamie Foxx vehicle Sleepless. It's not an illustrious tradition, but it's one Death Note is part of, and to classify it as straightforward whitewashing is to suggest that Lakeith Stanfield, who plays one of the other 2 main characters, is effectively white, protesting one act of erasure by committing another kind. Netflix's Death Note at least seems to have had some intention behind its primary casting choice. In headphones, a flop of home-bleached hair, and a black t-shirt, Wolff isn't just sporting a general uniform of teen outsiders, outcasts, and burnouts, it's a look that, in combination with the aura of resentment accompanying it, feels intended to bring to mind some more specific connotations of the Dylan Klebold or James Holmes variety. Death Note's anti-hero is, like them, a spree killer, albeit one whose journey of mass murder is meant to better the world as well as serve as an act of ego. Light isn't just any young white man. His look evokes a very specific sort of young white man, the kind who've made up the majority of mass shooters in the U.S. Light comes into possession of something scarier than a gun, a notebook that drops from the sky, and that allows him to dictate someone's death through the simple act of writing their name inside it. The film doesn't try to over-explain the notebook or the death guide that comes with it, a demonic figure by the name of Ryuk, voiced by Willem Dafoe, whom only Light can see. He's functionally a divine troll, and Light an overconfident Redditor sure that he knows how to fix society, a smart, bullied, self-righteous, motherless kid who comes into possession of a frightening amount of power. It's a shrewd opening gambit that hints at what Death Note could do by using its source material as an inspiration rather than a burden. But the film never fully embraces or lives up to the possibilities of its provocative, slow-motion introduction. Death Note instead tries to cover so much ground that it barely gets a handle on the mechanics of its murderous wish fulfillment and its teenage anti-hero before it sets off at a sprint. As a manga series, Death Note ran for 108 weekly chapters. Then, as an anime series, it spanned 37 episodes. The Netflix adaptation tries to cram everything into a just over 100-minute runtime. Light gains a girlfriend and partner in crime almost instantly, Mia Sutton, played by the always intriguing Margaret Qualley, Adisa,